welcome to the Ridgecrest City Council for Wednesday, December 3rd. Can we get a roll call?
Yes, sir. Mayor Endicott?
Present.
Mr. Blades?
Present.
Mr. Rajaratnam?
Present.
Mr. Heyman?
Present.
Mr. Gorman?
Present.
5 present, we have a quorum.
All right, next, do we have a motion for approval of the agenda?
Motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and second.
Please vote. 5 ayes, motion carries.
All right, next, we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance and invocation. After the Pledge of Allegiance, please remain standing. I do want to highlight that there was a Air Force pilot that crashed today in Trona. So I just want to have our well wishes, thoughts, and prayers go out to him, to the pilot that was involved in that. He is recovering. He is okay. He ejected before it crashed. So, but if we can get everyone up for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the invocation. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please join me in prayer if you would. Lord, thank you for giving us this day. Lord, thank you for this city of Ridgecrest where we live and cherish. Lord, I pray for our troops who are in harm's way, protect them from all evil. Same way I pray for our police department. Lord, protect them as they protect this community. Lord, I pray for our nation. Lord, pray for the leaders so that they might guide this country in the right way, Lord. Lord, I pray for all our troops, all our city service and first responders, Lord. Lord, as we enter into the season of Christmas, the season of love, the season of peace, pour out your love and your joy so that we share the same with our neighbors and with other friends, Lord. Lord, I pray for the pilot who crashed in Trona. Lord, thank you for protecting him. Lord, give him quick recovery. Lord, be with all of us today as we discuss the matters that are very important to this community. Lead us and guide us and give your wisdom. Bless each one of us here today. In your name I pray. Amen.
Amen. All right. Before we go into the presentation, I did want to highlight it. It was I misgendered the pilot. It was a female pilot. I hope she is doing okay. But next, we're going to go into presentations of employee service awards. And so, if members of council will join me down at the podium. First, we're going to ask Daniel to meet us there. There is. Just right here? All right. So 15 years is a lot of time to continue doing this and work in public works, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, you can be honest. How is it working with Travis?
It's got its ups and downs.
Demanding? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't have a cup of coffee on.
He does.
Ah, dang it.
So we want to give this in recognition of 15 years of service.
Right.
Thank you for what you've done and what you will continue to do. And if you have anything to say.
I just want to say it's been a pleasure working with the city. I came from the school district after 11 years, and I've really enjoyed working with the public for sure. It's been a pleasure. It's been fun. So,
Thank you
like
very
your
much.
shoes.
Thank you very much. I have a forgettable face, so people remember. We can.
Thank you.
And do we get a picture?
Absolutely.
That's totally up to you on how you would like to. We can get them all together too. Where are you going? I just looked over so you. I'm like, they moved.
Trying to merge.
Okay, everybody. 1, 2, 3. We can do it together if we need to too. After they're all done. Sure.
Nope, all right. And Sean's not here? Okay, so Daniel and Andrew? Daniel Ortiz? All right, so this is to present for you for 5 years of service. Thank you for everything that you've done, and if you have anything to say, I know that you got your family here, so.
It's a pleasure to work for the city, and I appreciate doing this kind of job, working with the community. Thank you very much. I worked for the base 10 years, and from there I came here to work, and I enjoy my job, and I enjoy do what I do. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Do you want to say anything bad about Travis?
No.
Congratulations.
Do you want to have a picture with your whole family? Bring them on down.
Can we do one with just you guys first? Front, back, one for the, and then we'll get his family. Come on up there, Daniel, show me your certificate. Did you guys get one? Get one of these? And then I'll do one of all of you? All right. Here, go for it. Okay, everybody smile. Got it. You're welcome. You wanna do that? Do you need both of them?
I mean, we could, but if it's just the two
It's just the two, so we're good. He was just saying like five.
Okay.
Sorry. Can you tell me next to stuff up? We see you tomorrow.
All right. So again, thank you for those that are here and those that aren't, Diane, Sean, and Andrea. Thank you guys for your service to the city. It is much appreciated. Next, we will move on to public comment of items not on the agenda. Persons wishing to address the council on matters that are within the council's jurisdiction and do not already appear on the agenda may do so at this time. Council will not respond to any public comments, but may provide direction to staff to collect information. Pursuant to the Brown Act, the city council may not act on an item that does not appear on the agenda. Speakers are limited to 5 minutes. The public comment section of the agenda is limited to a total of 1 hour. Each speaker is asked to provide his or her name.
Good evening. My name is Mike Lasitra, and last meeting I shared many points of concern about the physical security of the flock surveillance cameras that the city runs. This time I would like to speak about the possible intentional misuse of the collected data that runs afoul of California law and our council's intentions. Senate Bill 34 is a California law that prohibits law enforcement in the state from sharing license plate data with out-of-state or federal agencies. However, investigations have shown this law to have been broken hundreds of times statewide, often by an officer in a department searching the database on behalf of a federal agent trying to access the data. Furthermore, Flock has written into its contract with many municipalities the ability to disclose local data with out-of-state or federal agencies without anyone in the local agency needing to approve it. Even if the state law disallows this, Flock has been shown to do it anyway. The California city of Santa Cruz recently discovered the sharing happening behind their backs and have since launched investigations into the practice and the contract they signed, as well as suspending all data sharing. The risks of this illegal data sharing are expanding. Border Patrol has been using this data to flag anyone driving near a border as suspicious. Combine that with common actions like driving a rental car, making short trips, or using a back road, and now everyone is a criminal. They will tip off local law enforcement to perform a stop that will find nothing but will inflict significant hardship on the victim that will need to spend money and time to retrieve their seized property and clear their name. Senate Bill 34 also states that any access to collected license plate data must specify a reason, but from the city's own logs, most of these reasons are nonsense. 29% of the reasons given are just the date, and another 37% are meaningless numbers. Only 31% of the reasons given are human-readable or case numbers. This does not look like compliance with the law. I encourage the city to make major improvements here and comply with SB 34's requirements. Furthermore, the search log details how many cameras were accessed in each search. If it was a local matter, the number is usually 24, but when the scope is widened, the number of cameras searched is over 10,000. It stands to reason that when other agencies widen their searches, they are including Ridgecrest too. However, nothing about their search appears in our log, even though they are searching our data. I ask the city to please review the contract signed with Flock to make sure it does not grant them a perpetual and royalty-free right to license and disclose agency data for investigative purposes. I also ask you to verify that all the procedures are in place to ensure that only lawful database access is allowed and that any out-of-state or federal agencies are kept out. I have shared information with you further detailing all these issues. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Barbara Bain. I came here tonight to support this this struggle against Flock, which I hate. I think it's an unreasonable and unconstitutional trespass on our privacy rights. But something happened yesterday that I'm going to talk about instead. Yesterday morning at 6:30 a.m., a homeless vet was found in a pool of blood and waste in Leroy Jackson Park. He had fallen out of his wheelchair. He wears a prosthetic. He was exposed to the elements. The county workers that found him said his skin was blue from the waist, from at least the waist down. His pulse was barely perceptible. An ambulance was called and he was airlifted out of Ridgecrest. I don't know if he's alive or dead. That man had been living in the park in that wheelchair for the last 2 weeks. You know how cold and rainy it's been. And I know that RFPD knew that he was there because at 10 o'clock on Tuesday morning, I went into the police department to ask someone to please go and try to get him off the streets because it was going to be freezing that night. I don't know what happened with that. I'm not clear why, if the police department did or did not do welfare checks on the guy through the night. He was right there at the picnic table. I don't understand how he was found in a pool of blood the next morning. So I know that there are complicating circumstances here, all right? This gentleman had been attended by private citizens in the community who'd offered to put him up in a hotel or motel. He declined. People had been taking him coffee and warm food, but he would not go to a hotel. Okay, that's free will. So you say, well, what are we going to do about that? Well, you know, we don't let people die of drug overdoses even though they freely took drugs. Our police officers have done a marvelous job of administering Narcan to people. That's free will. Why don't we just say, oh, hey, you took the drugs, too bad. What are we going to do? If someone calls in and says, hey, my relative or my son or my husband or my wife is suicidal and threatening to kill herself, we take steps. We call mental health people. Sometimes a police officer will go out there. That's free will, to kill yourself. So this whole idea that someone has free will to freeze to death practically and lie in a pool of blood in a public park, it seems to me just complete failure of our responsibility as a city, as moral people, as religious people. It's just Ridgecrest has got to come up with a way to deal with this. There are homeless people frequently in Leroy Jackson Park, and many times they live there for days and months on end with the knowledge of city officials like police officers. We need a way to deal with this problem. We think it's like Bakersfield or Lancaster. No, it's right here in Ridgecrest. And it's just a horrible thing that a homeless vet, lay in a pool of blood in our city park all night on a night that was freezing cold. So thank you very much for listening to this.
Thank you. Any other persons wishing to address items not on the agenda? No calls? Okay. Next, we'll move to council announcements and direction. Any members of the council? I see you have a stack.
Yeah, luckily it's not a big stack this time. So the big one, of course, is the tree lighting. It starts at 5. The actual tree will be lit at 6. It goes till 9. There's going to be tons of stuff. Fresh cookies, inflatable walkthrough, kids dance party, Santa Claus photos. I know there was even a kids drawing contest going on. But one thing I wanted to highlight is that if you need a ride to this event, make sure, call transit. Call transit and they will square you away, but you might just want to start scheduling that now. If you need to know the number, that's 760-499-5040. So they'll start giving rides around 4 p.m. and they'll give return rides from 7 to 9. So that's that. So there was a small business Saturday, and there was a lot of people there at the market. But the one part of the market that I was the most involved was the kids market. So and I think it was a great success. I think there are, of course, always some improvements to be made, but the city partnering with other folks in the community made it happen. And I think that you had a lot of young kids, a lot of young families who worked real hard, who got to see what it's like to deal with the public, sell things, run, have a budget to run off of. So it was healthy. It was good stuff. Oh, and on my way here, Narissa, I want to give a huge shout out to all the folks who work in Parks and Rec, because the lights along Ridgecrest Boulevard look amazing. I'm assuming those are your folks, and I really appreciate it. It looked great. Thank you. As far as comments, so I have passed along all those documents you passed me to the city manager. I know he was just like last meeting, he gave it to the chief. My understanding is that Flock is ongoing with their, not just their own pen test, but working in conjunction with other groups to do penetration tests. So it's an ongoing process, but I'm not going to speak for the company. That's not my job.
Anyone else with, yes?
This Saturday, up by the college, is the Over the Hill Track Club Ultra Marathon starting. The main runners for the 50K, by the way, that's 31 miles. That's bigger than a normal Boston or New York marathon, and it's jumping over cactuses, avoiding tripping over rocks, running on dirt. The 50K marathon will start at 7 o'clock, 7 a.m., and it's quite a spectacle. I've been involved with the Over the Hill Track Club as the person who's been making the trophies for the last 12 years at least. And I'll bet you there's some runners who have every single one of them. They're all different. They all involve a desert critter of one kind or another. I'm running out of critters. So anybody who has a suggestion, please let me know. It's quite a spectacle. In fact, just stepping out of this building, stepping away from the light and looking up, you'll see a moon tonight that's quite a spectacle. That's all I have. Thank you.
I'm making this announcement on behalf of Eddie Edwards, who was here at the last city council meeting. She wanted me to make a mention about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. celebration event on January 19th at Carnegie Center. She says they have good speakers coming from out of town also. So she wanted to invite the community for coming and enjoying that event. Thank you.
Councilman Hammond, do you have anything? No? My last little bit, I was able to walk through the inflatables that the Parks and Rec individuals did back-breaking work to get those up. Hopefully you guys are healing. It's a fantastic event to walk through. I want to thank the businesses, the individuals that donated inflatables for that. It's a really cool experience. The whole, even, you know, the Christmas trees out here. I just want to thank city staff for doing the work to really decorate this place, make it look festive. Because it's, I don't know, there's something about the holidays that, you know, just brings joy to some. So we will move on to consent calendar. All items listed on consent are considered to be routine and non-controversial by city staff. Consent items may be approved by one motion if no member of the council or audience wishes to comment or ask questions. If comment or discussion is desired by anyone, the item will be removed from the consent calendar and will be discussed in listed sequence with an opportunity for any member of the public to address the city council concerning the item before action is taken. There are 2 consent items. They are listed on the posted agenda. Does any member of the council wish to have an item pulled?
Yeah, number 2, but it's a quick question. We could probably just address it real quick and move on. Yeah, so Ron or Kelly, when will we expect to see the RDA fully dissolved so we can see those tax increments come back?
I'm sorry, Kyle, I thought it was
We
just.
pay off the bonds in 2038, and we'll still have a little bit of a tail with the properties there at the business park, but the tax revenue should come back then. We get our full increment.
Thank you, I'm good.
Good. Does any member of the public wish to have an item pulled? All right, seeing none, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and second.
Please vote. 5 ayes, motion carries.
All right, next we will move on to the discussion and action item number 3, a resolution of the Ridgecrest City Council approving a new salary schedule for sworn officer positions.
Good evening, council and mayor. Put together a little presentation for you guys outlining our proposed increase for the sworn officer positions. This will not be an impact to the city budget this year. As you guys are aware, we've had a tough time filling all the vacant positions that PD has. We are proposing to cut those 4 positions and add 2 more community service officers. I think the key thing to know here is that there is no loss of service to the public. By adding the 2 community service officers, we will effectively decrease the number of transports that our sworn officers will have to make to Laredo. By doing that, you keep more officers on the street out patrolling and doing what they do. I think this is a crucial step for us in getting rid of the attrition rate we've had. As you guys are all aware, we routinely have officers that are seasoned and have left to other organizations. We're proposing a 17% pay increase across all sworn officer positions. This includes the chief, captains, the sergeants, and all the officers. With PD being the only department that had the ability to cut positions to fund a raise, we felt it was prudent to bring this to you now rather than waiting to the next budget. But I do assure you we are actively working off the compensation study to look at what we can do for all the other positions that are below the average wage for that position. Right here is what we learned from our salary schedule for our regular police officer positions. With the proposed increase, it would put them for their base rate of pay, for their monthly wage, about 2 to 3% more than the competing agencies that we routinely lose them to. This is the pay scale for the sergeants. Sergeants were the most down, so this will get them to within 5% of the median. This is our captain's salary. This will again put them above the median, just below, actually it'll be just above Inyo, just below County of Kern. This is the salaries for the chief. The chief is about 12.5% down, and we feel that the 70% increase is definitely warranted. Chief is involved actively with SWAT and with all the other things within the community. So we felt as this was for all sworn officer positions, that this was a crucial position to also take care of. This is the previous salary schedules in white and the proposed salary schedules in yellow. You've got all your hourly rates as well as your monthly rates. In FY '26 and '27, there will be about a $442,500 hit to the budget. As you guys are aware, we have dual management positions right now for the filling of a public works director. And when we fulfill, when Ron retires and whoever takes the city manager's seat, we will have a vacant position, which will create about $107,000 salary savings. We propose to use those funds towards this. And then we had quite a few one-time capital purchases this year within the budget. And we propose to basically take the remainder, which is about 200 grand, from the operating budget. With that, correct. And then we also have got money from elimination from the positions. This year it will fund all of it because it's about 50% of the year. So we've got a 50% of the year salary savings. Next year it will not fund all of it, so there will be some other funds that we have to account for. And with that, I am open for any questions.
So when was the last time that PD got some sort of a raise?
I believe it was 4 years ago.
No, it'd have been 2022.
2022, so 3 years ago. It's almost 4 years ago.
Okay. And so in that time, pay just stayed stagnant?
Correct. The salary scale has remained unchanged. I believe 2022 was the last time we actually did any reorganization of the salary schedule within the PD department.
Okay. And for those that are leaving, my assumption is that they're going to some of these other locations for better pay and things like that. Is that?
From our knowledge, that is what we believe to be happening, yes. That's what has been told to us, so that's what we are trying to solve with this. And if anybody would like to ask a question of the chief is on the line. We can patch him through to answer any questions. If you guys have any questions about being staffed at 29 and 4.
Yeah, if the chief's on the line, I got a few questions for him.
They're passing him through right now. Okay, you should be there. Go ahead.
Chief's on the line. I got a few questions for him.
You ready to do that?
I was turning on my other device. I'm ready.
Yeah, you're loud, chief. It must be the mustache. Okay. The first question is, so I want you to just correct me where I'm wrong. What it appears like is that you're going to shift some workload, and you're able to shift that workload because your PD already understands the chronic issues that they have, and you're already working with those, and so you understand what you can do to push around your personnel, and it's doable, it's manageable, and we don't see services changing within the city. Is that correct?
Not only will you likely not see a negative change in service, if the 4 CSO model works, you'll actually see an increase in service. It's common for at least one, sometimes 2 officers to have to make that long run to Bakersfield for a prisoner transport. We'll be able to offset that with having a community service officer on every shift. And they can take our transport van and take more than one person at a time, whereas our patrol officers generally only take 1, maybe 2 in a patrol car. So the only way this worked was to increase our CSO staffing. So what that will do is leave more officers in the city to manage calls for service rather than just simply being tied up on a transport. until we can find some relief through the sheriff's department to either bring our jail back or help us in some other way.
Yeah, I'll have to ask you some other time because it's not on the agenda about the jail, but I would love to know that one. This one's for Travis. The deputy position, I understand that it's likely going to go away with this change if this change goes through. Do you guys see that being the case for the foreseeable future? Because I can tell you that for my last few years, my gut tells me we're going to need a deputy city manager at some point.
So if you look at the attachment A proposed salary schedule for management, department heads, and city council, the only position that will be removed is the hybrid position, is the deputy city manager, public works director position. The actual deputy city manager position of grade 9,500 will still remain on the salary schedule. Although it might be vacant for a while, we still would have the ability, if council would so wish, to fill that position at some point.
Thank you. The last one I have for you, Travis or Ron, is I know that you have done a rate study for the rest of the city employees. I know that it looks like the PD is a little bit further behind in some other areas, but you are actively making sure that you're keeping your eye on the rest of the, I don't want the rest of the city staff to think that they're being left behind.
We are actively working on it, and we are searching for a resolution for all of the staff that is currently under based on that salary compensation study.
Thank you.
We plan to take care of it at budget time.
Any other council comments or questions?
I'm pleased to be in a position to affirm what's been said about our local police department and to participate in rewarding them salary-wise upwards from where they currently are. I support this wholeheartedly. My comment.
Yeah, I concur. If we can tighten up a few positions and bring our salaries for the PD into a more competitive level, that we don't lose good employees, good police officers to these outside agencies, I think it's a good thing for the city. So I'm in support of it, and it has been an ongoing problem for years, and in the past with finance, several years when I first came on the council, and employees hadn't seen a raise in 10 years, and PD was in just as tight of a pickle with it. It's been a problem since, and I'm really pleased to see us addressing this problem on a continual basis. It's not going to end tonight with just the PD, and like was brought up earlier, employee compensation for the other employees is an ongoing issue too, but it's a necessary item for us to address, so I'm in support.
Can I piggyback on that real quick? So, yeah, I just wanted to add to and give some historical context. I can tell you that when I came on the council in 2020, it wasn't that long ago in memory, especially, and some city staff remembers, there was a time when the city was not in good enough fiscal shape to not only not handle raises, but there were employees that had to be furloughed, and it was not just a few, it was a lot. It was pretty dire circumstances, and the city staff collectively has done an amazing job about getting the budget under control. City council is with a direction. We're in a good place right now. And so this is nothing but positive. This is nothing but great. It's a good news story, and so I like to. But I just wanted to highlight that I think it's easy for us to get two heads down and not pay attention. But it wasn't all that long ago on the scale of things. There was, not very much money sitting in the reserves of the city. Hardly nothing. And now it's where it's supposed to be according to state standards. And I think that's a heck of a change over a short period of time. So it's good to be where we are.
No, I concur. When Peggy Breeden and I sat before the various divisions and our staff and the employees in their unions, and at that time we didn't have the money to fix the problem, but we vowed that we were going to work diligently to fix that problem, and it's been a work in progress. I'm really pleased to see where the city is at, and I agree that our city manager, our finance department has done a phenomenal job in bringing us from the red into a position where if we properly and conservatively manage our funds, we can continue to take care of the employees in town, in the city that work here, and it's good for the city, it's good for the community. And so, anyway, that's all.
Thanks, Travis, for the presentation. Your presentation clearly shows that our police department is underpaid. So, I mean, I don't blame an officer wanting to leave for a better pay to different place. I mean, I would do the same if I am not paid properly. So they take care of our community, so they need to be well paid. I mean, they need to be taken care of. Finance department, finance committee actually has been working on increasing the salaries for everybody for the last 6 years, I think, if I know that. So this is part of that game plan. So I fully support this proposition. I want to thank the police department for their service to our community, for your bravery and your courage for making sure this community is safe and a better place for all of us to live here. So I'm in fully support of this. I have one question though. So right now we have 2 community service officers, right? So you are adding 2 more to that?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. And you made a comment here, next year you will evaluate. So what does that mean?
So at budget time next year, we're hopeful that we will have gotten up to full staffing in the police department. And then we can ask Chief to reevaluate if the 4 CSO positions are working the way he had intended them to. And if we need to make any adjustments at that time, we would probably present that to you at budget time.
Okay. One more question. We need to find 194,832. So where are you looking for that money? Without that, I mean, you will not have enough money to cover the increase in the salaries.
So we are going to find that within the operating budget. The operating budget has quite a few one-time big capital purchases in it this year. So I don't think finding that $200,000 is going to be a problem within the operating budget. So we're hopeful that we're not going to impact any of our other funds in a negative way because of the fact that there's so many one-time capital purchases, so.
Okay. And I want to thank Finance Director Kelly for taking care of this and finding the money and working out on all those details. Thank you very much for your hard work on this.
I have one last question. It's either for the chief or for Mr. Reed. So currently we have 29, that's correct?
Currently you have, oh, go ahead, Mario. I'll let you answer that question.
We are currently authorized for 33 officers and 2 CSOs.
Right, but we're getting rid of 4, right?
Correct. So we'll have 29, but 4 CSOs.
Right. So the 29 that we have, do we have anyone in the academy or anything, or?
Currently have 2 in the academy. 1 graduates tomorrow. The other one graduates in February. We have a lateral officer that's due to finish background. So at least theoretically, boots on the ground, even though the most recent graduate will be in training for an additional 6 months. If our plan works out correctly with no other departures in the short term, we will be fully staffed as soon as we add the 2 CSOs.
Okay. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, any other council comments? Are there any public comments?
I had a question for the chief. I noted that Kenny Youngblood had complained that they're losing all sheriff's deputies and sheriff positions to the new Department of Homeland Security bonus, that $50,000 bonus, and that Homeland Security was poaching a lot of sheriffs and police officers and deputies across the country because they are offering a lot more money. Has Ridgecrest lost any officers to Department of Homeland Security?
We have not.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other
You're welcome.
Any other public wishing to comment? Seeing none, no one on the line other than the chief. So do we have a motion to?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and second.
5 ayes, motion carries.
Thank you, council.
Thank you. Thank you, chief. Enjoy the rest of your time.
You're welcome. Thanks for letting me call in so I could spend some time with my family. Have a good night.
Good night. All right, next we will move on to committee reports. We have the Economic Development Committee, their report from December 1st.
We did not meet.
Okay. Then,
My bad.
No, it's not your bad at all. We just at the last minute couldn't get a quorum together. So that's on us.
and the next meeting will be January.
Uno momento. Hold. It is January the
or
5th.
January 5th. All right, so Economic Development Committee will meet January 5th in City Hall Conference Room B on the first floor at 5:15. The next Finance Committee meeting will be held in Conference Room B at 5:30 on December the 9th. Infrastructure Committee will have their next meeting January 22nd in Conference Room B at 5 p.m. And Quality of Life Committee, we met last night. One of the things that we continue to have on the agenda for good reason is the senior center. We've gotten a lot of attendance at our meetings for that, and we've had really good dialogue about the progress that's been happening at the senior center. One of the big things from the survey that Parks and Rec, Jen and Narissa have conducted was that the individual that's working there on behalf of the city, Beverly, is doing a fantastic job. She's getting rave reviews from the seniors with her ability to do alterations, to help with sewing. They've even had movie night where they watched Christmas Vacation and they got some popcorn. One of the things that was brought up, we're working on the Wi-Fi situation to get something done before the pool comes, and then they can use the same Wi-Fi as the pool. The numbers are up. The average attendance per day is about 28 individuals attending the senior center. And I also want to highlight the community support for providing meals when the county was not able to provide meals. The community really stepped up to help the center and make sure that our seniors were given good meals. They also have had a potluck. And so it seems like a lot of positive comments on that. We also had an update on the skate park shade structure that is going, that's being worked on. Is there anything that I missed, Councilman Haven?
No, I'll just add that the Rotary was one of the organizations that really has come to the table to help with seniors. And they've done a great job. It's been a ongoing, we put it on the agenda every month. And it will stay on the agenda. The feedback from the senior citizens last night was pretty phenomenal. It's a huge amount of progress, and I want to thank Narissa and Jennifer Ledbetter because they have been instrumental in the backbone in spearheading this work and getting the senior center back up and running. And so, but the satisfaction from the seniors is just, it's wonderful to see it. And so we won't let up on this one either. We're going to continue to keep it on the forefront of the agenda. There's a few little things like the Wi-Fi and water, the meals, you know, like when the county can't, for whatever reason, provide, that we have a immediate and reserve, you know, process that puts the meals to the seniors now, so that there's not a glitch in that. But no, it's pretty fantastic. So that's all I have to add.
Is that our, Rika, is that you on Rotary?
Yeah.
Good work.
Thank you.
Don't do it too quickly.
Okay. Next, we have other committees, boards, or commissions.
He looks at me when he says that. The Public Lands Roundtable is meeting tomorrow night about this time at the Indian Wells Valley Water District Chambers, which is a fairly smallish room. The roundtable itself is filled with people. It'll be fun to see how many of them we can jam into that little room to have our meeting. Also, recently I attended the KernCog, the Kern County of Governments meeting that meets in Bakersfield. I joined them virtually, and I'm noticing Chairman Jay Schlosser, am I pronouncing his name right? I did it all by myself, and I'm 80 years old now, is beginning to warn people about Route 58 from here to Bakersfield. The most logical route is going to start developing an inconvenience, a major inconvenience from Kern, oh blast. What's the name of that little community? You go halfway around
Keene.
on Route 58 heading towards Bakersfield. Keene. Starting around Keene in 3 different sections, but a different time in each section, the traffic will be diverted. And it'll be slow and fussy and frustrating. And if you are involved in things that keep you between here and Bakersfield on a regular basis, you might think about avoiding that frustration. And I don't know how you do that, because lately Highway 178 by way of Lake Isabella is offline as often as Garlock Road, for Pete's sakes. So I don't know what to recommend. You could go by way of, I can't imagine. You drive into traffic on 58 and deal with it. So that's all I had to report. That was an ultra-long report, forgive me, from KernCog. I think that's it.
I'm just going to add one more thing in regards to the quality of life meeting. The tree lighting ceremony and everything that will be going on Friday, the amount of work that has gone into that has been tremendous, and a big shout out to the city staff. I know there's a pull together of a lot of people that have been working a lot of hours this week to get this event ready. And I got a little tour last night and was really impressed and with how things look, what's going to be happening. And again, thank you to the Parks Director, Narissa, and the staff and everybody throughout the city staff that have participated in this to get it going. But these events are fun and they're great for the community, and they are a lot of work for behind the scenes. So my hat's off to you guys.
Any other committees, boards, or commissions? All right, so as it was noted, I was not here at the last city council meeting. I was at LAFCO. When I took that appointment, I remember I talked with the former mayor, and he said that they were generally really short meetings. I don't think that I've had one under 2.5 hours this year that I've been there. So I was able to watch on YouTube while the meeting was going on, but we concluded afterwards. And so I was not there, but we We did get the results of the protest vote for the East Kern Healthcare District. There were a total of 22 individuals who, either voters who protested or landowners who protested. I think they equated to less than half of 1% for the total number of protest votes. So it wasn't enough to overturn it. We approved that. And then we worked on other land issues and sewer type problems. But it was a nice 3-hour meeting. So starting in January, I will be remote. We've finally got it approved through LAFCO that I can now be remote more than twice a year because of the mileage, and now apparently the struggle's on 58. I'm even more happy that I can be remote. So I should now be cleared to have a bit better presence here. So Rick, I'll get with you about sending in the location that I'll need to be here. All right, next we'll move on to city manager report.
Yeah, I have nothing to report.
Okay, that was quick. Are there any future agenda items anyone wishes to add?
So we had a quick discussion about moving an agenda item. We had left it up in the air. We wanted to wait for you to be back. I was bringing up the GA item right now, so we're not the GA. We originally had it on there because the GA, they didn't have any kind of a presence. And so we wanted to at least bring some of the talk here. But I last meeting said, hey, why don't we just move it to it's just another committee, right? We can't tell Scott how to vote anyways. So why don't we just move it to the committee reports? It doesn't cancel anybody's ability to talk publicly. If you want to make public comment, those things can still happen. There's no change there. I was just trying to basically, in my mind, do housekeeping. There's no reason to have an item in the discussion portion of our agenda about another agency that we don't have direct cognizance over. It was on there originally because I fought for it to be there. It was me. But that's because there wasn't enough conversation, but I think that's things have changed over time.
So are we in agreement that we need to have that as a future agenda item?
I would like to leave it as it is. That gives an opportunity for the public to comment.
Well, and we can have it as an agenda item, right? Or do we decide it?
So it's just we can do that discussion here, whether we even need to make it a future agenda item. And it's like, to that point, Solomon, it doesn't stop anybody's ability to talk about it. People can still walk up to the public comment and talk about water if they want. That doesn't change.
But if we have it on the other committees, boards, or commissions, then I would then need to provide public comment after that, right? So that they can comment.
No.
See, we'll be losing that.
You don't lose.
I don't know why we want to bring this change. Is there any reason?
Well, my only reason is I can't count how many times we're up here talking, and all we're supposed to be doing really is receiving a report from Scott. And we put ourselves every single time in legal jeopardy every single time we get into a debate or a back and forth and we're talking about, we're not supposed to be doing that.
But
I will second. I will second this. I'll second this, and so this will bring it back to the council for an agenda item, and then we can.
And we can discuss it at that time.
Yes.
We're getting a little bit far afield here.
Okay. So
Even like right now.
we have a motion and a second to put it on a future agenda.
It'll work.
So we will add that. Yeah, are there any other future agenda items individuals wish to have on there? All right. Mayor and council comments. Any council members have anything that they wish to say?
Mostly just, I was dismayed to hear about that veteran, as I understand it, found out of his wheelchair and in blood. Was there, my question, perhaps somebody might later approach me with some answers. Was there an assault? Somebody's holding up her hand like she knows the answer.
My understanding is, I've heard two things. One, that he just fell out of the wheelchair, he had some medical
Yeah, yeah, it's really dismaying to hear about his circumstances. Terrific, my friend, thank you. That's all.
Councilman Heyman, do you have any comments?
Welcome everybody out to the tree lighting on Friday. It'll be a great event for the city, so, yep, that's it.
I have a couple of questions. Do we have a date for groundbreaking for the pool yet?
They're gonna have a meeting with the contractor on December 9th, and we should have a date shortly after that.
So sometime during this month, probably.
Yes, it'll be in December.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was going to make another comment last month, the last city council meeting, but I missed that. Government shutdown, that is over, but I just want to thank the local financial institutions, Altawan, Desert Valleys, US Bank, and Navy Federal for stepping up during that time to assist the government employees who were not paid. They gave some loans, so really appreciate their effort in supporting our community in that way. Thank you.
I want to thank all the city staff members. So Danny Leroy, you're still here, and I know Mr. Ortiz, he was here earlier. I appreciate your service to the community, and Danny, you especially. I hear your name come up a lot, always in a good way, for getting stuff done and being that guy. And I mean, 15 years is a lot of time, but it's all for a good cause, and it's all in service of this community. And I'm sure there are times in your day where you don't feel appreciated, but I just want to say I appreciate you. And I appreciate the rest of the staff members. And I'll read them back off. That's Andrea Hockett, Daniel Ortiz, Sean Connolly, Diane Pogorski, Danny Leroy. And all those folks are doing a lot of good things for the city and for the community. Thank you. That's good. That'll do.
All right, I will keep this short. So on this day in 1967, the first human heart transplant took place in Cape Town, South Africa. Something to be noted. I also, want to tell everyone, please enjoy the tree lighting this year. It's always a fun time. Cookies, hot cocoa. There might be some special events that happen. The other thing that I want to highlight, mental health is a really important topic to me. With the holidays around, it is a trying time for individuals. A lot of loneliness happens in this time, so if you have friends that don't have family around, reach out to them. Let them know that you're thinking about them. If you have neighbors around, just, be that individual that goes out and makes someone feel special. It's a very trying time. I know it's a lot of joy and happiness that comes with the holidays, but it's also a lot of individuals going without. And so please take the moment to reach out to individuals that you haven't talked to in a while and make sure that they're okay and know that they're loved. But that's all I have, except for Mr. Reed, are you still planning on dressing like Cousin Eddie for the pool groundbreaking?
I'm not sure that's ever been on my docket, but
Oh, no, we voted on it at one point when you weren't here. And I think it was unanimous, wasn't it? I mean, you can show up dressed like city manager, so I think you could pull off a Cousin Eddie.
you buy me the costume.
All right, with that, I want to thank everyone for coming out. Thanks for coming up and talking during public comment. Again, public speaking is one of the hardest things to do, so I appreciate y'all doing that and providing us with information about how we can make the city better. So everyone have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care.